Good afternoon, everyone. It's Stephen Paul from WinExtra bringing your daily brief of Microsoft news for March 11th, 2011.
All the ones.
Yes, except for the three.
Except for the three, okay. Almost all the ones. So, Hot Titty, you gonna run out and buy an iPad today? iPad 2, man. It's out.
Yeah, right. I'll get right on that. No.
Have you seen analysts are predicting 500,000 sales of this thing in the first 2 days? Which is very funny because Bloomberg actually did an article today stating that, they listed all these analysts and like the best report was like, 500,000 sales in 2 days potentially. So their title was 600,000 sales. That was funny.
Well, you were telling me about a chart that Mashable had up comparing the iPad against the oncoming onslaught of competition.
Yeah, they've got... it's funny to see Mashable running an Apple piece that doesn't sort of gush and fawn all over it. But they did. They posted a chart showing...
That's because MG doesn't work there.
Sorry?
That's because MG doesn't work there.
Yeah. They posted a chart comparing the Apple iPad 2 to the Galaxy Tab, HP Touchpad, LG Slate, and a couple of other tablets, and how they compare on specs.
Okay.
Just from a specs point of view alone, which, generally that kind of determines how I'm going to spend my bucks. The iPad 2 is not shaping up well against a lot of the tablets that are due to come to market. But, teach their own, I suppose, to those who worship at the altar of Steve Jobs, despite as many lies as he might tell when he's on stage. If that's what you want to buy, go out and buy it. I'll wait for something that has a bit more...
Yeah. Yesterday we talked about, and wrote about on the site, this thing with the Xbox Live point hack.
Yes, I wrote about that, yeah.
Yeah. Ars Technica has a post up saying it's going to cost Microsoft thousands, not millions.
Basically, what was going on was the people that were exploiting this, it actually turns out that it was by changing some digits in the URL that was being used to generate these passes, you could get it to spit out a new 25-digit code each time. Now, apparently, there was only 4 digits that could be changed. So the details basically ended up that however they did the math, it worked out that there was only something like... there were 7 digits that could be changed. And each one with a value of 0 to 9. So potentially there was only... 70,000 codes that could actually be generated despite reports, which means a maximum value, considering it was $2 per pass, of it's $140,000 to Microsoft.
Yeah.
However, a lot of this is virtual currency. A lot of this isn't actually a financial. It has no real value unless somebody spends it in the store on, say, like you buy a Call of Duty map pack, and then Microsoft has to pay out money to Activision, or you buy something from an indie gamer, and Microsoft has to pay them out real money. This is where this is different to piracy, because there is a real money value involved in this. But as you updated the story yesterday that I wrote, that Microsoft had already closed the loop, cancelled a whole hell of a lot of these codes that were activated, and are already looking into figuring out whether or not they're going to ban people, basically, because what they have done here, which is messing with the server, is actually explicitly covered in the Xbox Live terms and conditions, and can result in you being banned. So I'm really wondering, as I said in my post yesterday, I'm really wondering, about this time next month, maybe a little longer than that, are we going to start to see post after post after post about what assholes Microsoft are for banning me, and people proclaiming their innocence? And it was only $2, it was only virtual currency, it wasn't real. But I think I think that's the big problem here with this. The way it's being presented on a lot of the tech sites is that this is just virtual currency. So at the end of the day, people are seeing it as you're only taking away bits and bytes from Microsoft a la piracy.
Yeah.
Most people tend to be forgetting that a lot of this money that comes in is used to pay indie games developers. It's used to pay big game developers too, like Activision and whatnot, when you purchase mod packs and games and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Keeping with Xbox, Joystick has up, Xbox 360 has the biggest non-holiday month ever. Massive numbers.
535,000 units in February of 2011. Also the shortest month of the year.
Yeah.
So that's up 27% year over year. Interesting. I suppose a lot of it is due to the fact that, you know, even though they were on top in January as well, but is the fact that now the Xbox is actually available again after the shortages.
Yeah.
So
it's numbers are going to keep going up. Nice to see, though. One of the things when Kinect first came out, and I wrote about this yesterday, was the fact that the hardcore gamers sort of went, yeah, okay, fine, no, Dance Revolution, Connectables, blah, blah, blah.
Connectables.
Yeah.
There's something to get your hardcore, you know, 18 to 30-year-olds or 8 to 40-year-olds.
We'll never
sort of really get his blood boiling. Let's play Connectables.
Yeah, but we'll never see this happening to any degree or any, you know, real effort with things like Call of Duty or Half-Life 2. Well, guess what? There's one little hacker out there who is using a package called Gary's Mod.
Yeah, Gmod.
Gmod.
So they're using it with the Half-Life engine then.
Yeah.
And basically what they've done is he wrote a couple of scripts that, you know, track the body points just as Kinect does.
Yeah.
And obviously the animation on this is rather crap. You're watching it right now because, you know, this is a hack. This isn't, you know, games developers doing this, but it's really cool. He's put himself in there, and he's there as one of the scientist dudes, the robot dude. He's kicking boxes around the place and all that sort of stuff. He's actually in the game, which is kind of step up from the World of Warcraft sort of one that we saw, you know.
But here's the thing, though. Can you imagine yourself actually going smacking with the crowbar? You know, like I can see it actually being a nice addition to the game. It could give like a whole new life to games like Half-Life.
I'd like to see that in like a Street Fighter game.
Yeah.
You know, Street Fighter or Tekken or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
That would be absolutely Soul Calibur. You know?
Yeah. Now,
that would be awesome. Although, you know what, the downside of this is that that sort of games implementation is going to be used as so many excuses in domestic violence cases. You're standing too close to me.
Yeah. Now, for the really stupid rumor of probably the longest while, there's some newspaper claiming that HP is going to sell its PC business to Samsung.
Yeah. Now this is actually, first off, I picked up the report from Samsung Hub, who was quoting the Commercial Times, but Slate, I believe, also ran this story. I believe. I don't have a link to it, but I believe they did. I stand to be corrected on that one. But basically, the story is that HP have been in talks with Samsung to sell over their PC division because basically Samsung has been, you know, really aggressive in the notebook area and have been doing really well, so HP were going to sell to them. The rumor has also been expanded upon to say that possibly Lenovo and Honhai, otherwise known as Foxconn, are also potential suitors to purchase HP's PC business. And of course, they've also said that Samsung and HP were in talks back in Q4 of 2010 to do this, and the deal fell through, so this is kind of a resurgence.
Yeah, so let's get this straight. HP spends $1.2 billion to buy WebOS so that it can run it as a shell on Windows 7 machines and power their phones, and now all of a sudden they're going to sell their PC business? I don't think so.
Well, they would if the money was right, let's be honest.
No, I don't see it. I honestly do not see them doing that, period.
Well, neither do I. That's why we're calling this Stupid Rumor of the Week. But, again, more things. I've been hearing more and more reports about that HP WebOS shell on Windows. And the more I hear about it, even though I still have yet to see a link that says this is dual boot, everybody is taking the approach that it's dual boot.
Leo Laporte and Paul Thurrott on this Windows Weekly. You know, Leo Laporte said right out it was a dual boot situation. I'm going, what? No, it's not, you idiot.
I have yet to see your... Now, of course, folks, if you know of a report or a story that, you know, actually has substantiation that it is dual boot, please let us know. We'd love to know so we can read it. So let us know where that is. Either, you know, podcast at WinExtra.com or voicemail or text at 251-281-8730. Because, you know, we're kind of in the dark. We're getting confused by this.
Yeah. Mary Jo Foley managed to happen across a what's called a Form 20-F from the Securities and Exchange Commission that had to do with Nokia's partnership with Microsoft, and some rather interesting points that come out. The deal will take about 2 years before it is really finalized. Basically, what they have right now is a term sheet of agreement.
Alright, as I look down on the information here about what the 2020F says, right? Its primary smartphone platform will take about 2 years. Nokia officials called out 2011 and 2012 as transition years.
Yeah.
Now, that means until they've transitioned all of their products, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's... That doesn't mean that the phones aren't going to start rolling out.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. A couple of other things that came out, obviously, Office is going to be part of the deal. There's going to be a distinct division of labor with Microsoft where Nokia will bring assets such as brand, hardware, productization, global reach, application store, and importantly, operator billing support, along with other stuff to the partnership. Silverlight is to be the primary...
Hang on a minute.
What?
Why is this distinct division of labor interesting? Because it's obvious.
Well, no.
Microsoft builds the operating system. Nokia builds the phone. Nokia takes care of the parts that involve its distribution network and its carrier deals and operator payments, because that's what they handle. That's what they do with their partners.
Yes.
And Microsoft does the stuff that it does.
Yes.
Am I missing something?
No.
Or am I just being overly critical?
No, my point about the operator billing support is it gives another way for apps to be sold through the marketplace. Other than having to have a credit card, you can have it done through your...
Welcome to Europe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know that. Anyway, Silverlight is a primary developer story for coming Windows phones, but Java is not going totally away, blah, blah, blah. Nokia to have new operational reporting structure in place as of April 1st, 2011. And the last little tidbit is that Stephen Elop made himself a cool 6.66 million euros by flipping over to Nokia.
$1 or something.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, it's not actually. It's like $9.17 million. How did he make that?
By moving over to Nokia. That was like a signing bonus.
Very used to the man. He wasn't going to move there for nothing.
Yeah. Good move.
I mean, come on, it needs moving to Finland. I know Monty Python did a great song about them way back in when. Well, okay, it wasn't a great song, but if you don't believe me, look up Monty Python and Finland.
You had this one in the show notes. Microsoft's One Vision shows off the future of facial recognition. Yeah,
this is a really, really cool video. Just about, again, where Microsoft is going with sort of this isn't Kinect technology, but it potentially could be. It's very sort of Minority Report. Do you remember that scene in Minority Report where Tom Cruise walks into the store and it recognized him by the eyeball and it started doing that? Well, this is the same kind of thing. The camera is tracking all the faces of people, and as they come into it, they're being tagged with their names and whatnot. You know, as they move around, it's following them. You could see one or two glitches, all right, where it started picking up like faces on the wall and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But it's a really interesting thing as to thinking about where they're going and about, you know, how computers are going to be aware that it's you first off and that you're here.
Yeah.
Imagine you walk into your room and you have your laptop there, right?
Yeah.
And your laptop can see that you walked into the room and might start maybe powering up.
Well, that's
somebody else. It doesn't power up, you know.
Yeah, that's actually something that they're hoping to try for Windows 8.
We've talked about that in the sense that, you know, Kinect would recognize you and that sort of stuff. But this is talking about long distance recognition. Some of these are low definition distance recognitions.
Yeah.
You know, so like here to the end of the room.
Yeah.
And the computer knows that you're in there, and maybe it can be aware that you're there for voice commands or whatever. Yeah. It potentially adds another level to the sort of whole natural user interface thing. Yeah. Obviously, it's still a labs feature and very.
Last story of the day is this one came up through the Houston Chronicle and Seattle PI. Steve Ballmer is in his speeches that he's making lately is saying that Windows is going to change.
What was it I said to you when you mentioned this story to put it in the show notes?
I can't remember now.
I think I facepalmed. Because yes, Windows is going to change. Windows 8 will not be the same as Windows 7.
No.
And with Kinect, with natural user interface technologies, with advancements in UI design, so on and so forth, 64-bit platforms.
And it's the riskiest bet yet. It's the riskiest bet yet.
Tell us something. Stop telling us the crap is going to change. Change is inevitable. Tell us something good. Let us see it. Let's play with it. Let us cup it in our hands and squeeze it and press the buttons and see what happens.
Anyway, folks, if you have any thoughts or opinions on where Windows is going, why don't you leave us a comment on the post or on YouTube /WinExtra or by email at podcast@WinExtra.com or by Google Voice. You can leave us a voicemail or a text message when the number is, Paul?
You don't know it yet?
No.
It's 251 281-8730. And folks, if Hudson hasn't gotten this learned, in the next 10 shows, we're going to tattoo it onto his forehead.
And on that note, folks, that's Paul. I'm Steve. This has been WinExtra's Daily Brief for March 11th, 2011. Have a good one, everybody.
See you on Monday, folks.